port employees engaged in another protest. Employees' trust fund interest rates reduced further. Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption says the rate of bribing has increased.
Good afternoon and welcome to your lunchtime news. You're with me, Shehan Ranatunga. Now let's take a look at your top stories. The Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne issued an order to the Governor of the Central Bank today to release a sum of 1,800,000 rupees to a person by the name of Stella A. Disanayake. This is the money that she had invested to purchase bonds through Perpetual Treasuries PLC on the 27th of February 2015 controversial bond transaction along with its interest.
The magistrate ordered that since the investment has matured at present, the sum be released from PTL's real-time gross settlement system that is currently frozen. Since the investment was done through PTL, the magistrate ordered the chairman of the Perpetual Treasuries Group, Jeffrey Aloysius, to provide in writing to the governor of the central bank that there is no objection in releasing the funds if they have matured.
The interest paid for the Employees Trust Fund has decreased by 1%. A senior official attached to the ETF fund said the interest stood at 9% in 2018. However, the interest rate has decreased to 8% as at present. He further noted the situation arose following the terrorist attack last year and the COVID-19 pandemic. The Employees Trust Board says the crisis is caused by a sharp drop in investment returns. Postal votes were cast in the restricted Rajangane area, which went under lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The returning officer of Anuradhapura district, RM Vanninayaka, said the matters related to the postal voting is taking place as usual.
The returning officer of Anuradhapura district, RM Vanninayaka, said 420 state officials are expected to cast their votes in the area. Reports suggest Divisional Secretariat Office in Rajanganaya, Sirimapura Divisional Education Office and Mahasen College have been established as postal voting centres. Our correspondent said postal voting, which commenced at 9 today, will go on till 4 p.m. this evening. Tambuthegama police were also deployed for security in the area. It was also reported many people, by following the health guidelines, have arrived at the postal voting centres. Meanwhile, the Postal Department says the distribution of official polling cards will cease from today. Postmaster General Ranjit Aryaratna said 98% of the polling cards have been distributed. He further noted those who have not received voting cards can visit their respective post office and collect them. Meanwhile, police say 75,000 officials attached to the Police Special Task Force and police will be deployed for the election duties. Police media spokesperson SSP Jaliya Sena Ratna said 9,000 civil defence force will also be deployed for election duties. Police media spokesperson further noted planning activities regards to the same has also been completed.
An excise regulator was arrested during a raid in Pamulugama Jayala along with several bottles of ethanol, liquor and other spirits used for the production of alcohol.
Deputy Commissioner of Excise Kapila Kumarasinghe said a three-member committee headed by a Deputy Commissioner was appointed to investigate the officer. Kumarasinghe also said the officer will be interdicted once the police are officially informed regarding his actions. The arrested excise regulator is a resident of Vattala and further investigations are currently underway.
We're just a week away from the general election and here are some views expressed in the political sphere.
2020.
The government has failed to control the cost of living and law and order. Nothing notable is done for the development of the country over the past 9 months. Day-to-day lives of the people has been impacted heavily. We say this is an unsuccessful government.
UNP was the one who brought back life to the country's economy when it was not in a good state. In 1958, 1977, 2001 and 2015, Sri Lanka is distancing itself from the world We follow a principle that does not have any vengeance.
නමුත් මේ ආණ්ඩුව ඊට පස්සේ හාත්පසින් වෙනස්. රටින් රටට ප්‍රතිපත්තියෙන් ප්‍රතිපත්ති වෙනස් වෙලා අද රට ඈත් වීගෙන යනවා.
If you elect representatives who could live with the people, and creative, the representatives who know the pulse of the people, and a group that can support 2/3 of majority, this country will move forward.
හදවත හඳුනන ඡන්දෙන් පස්සෙත් ඔලුව දුම ගන්න නැතුව මිනිසුත් එක්ක ජීවත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙන මිනිස්සුන්ගේ නියෝජිතයෝ ඔබ පත් කරොතින් මේ රට ඉදිරියට ගෙන යාවි.
Then Gotabaya Rajapaksa
6.9 million votes were given to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa with the expectation of strengthening Viyatmaga and to elect intellectuals to parliament. Now all those old rogues have returned. If they don't tie these rogues, it will be a threat for none other than Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
තියාගත්තේ නැත්නම් මේකේ තර්ජනය එන්නේ ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාටමයි.
I don't trust that we have been provided with a parliamentary seat to live a luxurious life. Ministries will not be provided for people to travel in luxurious vehicles. Ministries will be provided to serve the people, to take care of the people and create the required principles. I believe Honorable Gotabaya Rajapaksa has a good understanding about this.
We did not establish governments with 113 MPs. We established a government with 40 on the 8th of January 2015. We established a government with 78 on the 17th of August 2015. This is the only constitution that had the support of 225. Thus, we can move forward with facts accepted by all 225.
2020.
The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, the bribes obtained by the officials in the country has increased compared to last year.
Its director and senior superintendent of police, Padmini Veerasurya, said 21 suspects have been arrested in 17 raids conducted thus far. Among the suspects are principals, police sergeants, constables, police inspectors and 2 sub-inspectors of police and a track recorder. In addition to this, a management assistant at the Department of Immigration and Emigration, a project manager at the Central Cultural Fund, a divisional secretary and deputy director at a Gram Nildari were also among the people arrested. 24 raids were carried out from the 1st of January to the 27th of July last year. Director of Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Senior Superintendent of Police Padmini Veerasurya said, despite the country being under lockdown, incidents of obtaining bribery was on the rise.
So the Lakshapana estate is where this incident happened, where this rare black leopard got caught in a snare and it died. So why we are going to Lakshapana is to understand, first of all, how it happened, and most importantly, why it happened.
Snares are now a threat for leopards that we will really need to seriously consider.
It's obviously it's a nasty death. It can be a very nasty death because it can take a long time.
So we have limited stock and we can't attend everywhere.
The Chief of Defence Staff and Commander of the Sri Lanka Army, Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva, said the COVID-19 cluster near the Kandakadu Rehabilitation Centre is under control now.
The area near the Kandakadu Rehabilitation Centre has been controlled. There are no socially transmitted cases. After the 30th of April, there have not been any locally transmitted COVID-19 cases.
Meanwhile, 5 more COVID-19 patients were discovered yesterday. Out of them, 4 were returnees from the UAE and the other is a person around the Kandakadu Rehabilitation Centre. Accordingly, the total number of COVID-19 cases reported from the island is 2,810. Department of Government Information stated that 503 are under medical observation.
The trade union collective to protect the East Container Terminal is currently holding a protest. The protesters are currently protesting opposite the port. The footage you are viewing was captured moments ago. The protesters are demanding that the memorandum of cooperation signed regarding the East Container Terminal be torn and to commence the operations of the ECT. Reporters say that Sir Baron Jayathiga Martha and Leighton Bastion Road adjacent to Colombo Port is blocked as a result of the protest.
Party leaders. Political update.
Now, the following are the views expressed by leaders of the main political parties.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended an event in Negombo.
මේ රටේ ජනතාව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ඔබ නිදහසේ ජීවත්.
The people of the country expect to live freely. When we come to Negombo, we remember the bitter memories. This is only because the responsible people never paid attention to security. The government back in the day had all the details of the terrorists, from their names, their NICs to where they were staying. All information was received by our intelligence from abroad. We lost 200 odd people and 500 were injured because they did not pay attention. The right to go and practice one's religion freely was taken away. That is how we see it.
තමන්ගේ ආගම අදහන්න තියෙන අයිතිය උදුර ගැනීමක් වශයෙන් තමයි අපි ඒක දකින්නේ.
Leader of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Sajith Premadasa, attended a rally in Walasmulla. The founder of the SLPP, Basil Rajapaksa, said something amazing.
කම්මැලි කමට ඉන්න ගොවියා වට්ටක්ක ඇට දෙකක් කුඹුරට විසි කරනවා රටේම ගොවීන් ටික දාලා.
This applies to all the farmers. He says after reaping the harvest, this lazy farmer is requesting for a reasonable price. The farmers say they did this with a lot of effort. Now the farmer says farmers who worked hard are now called lazy people. Is this what we have to hear after providing 6.9 million votes? Now some people might get this as a joke, but there is a deeper meaning. If this government is elected, write down what I said today. All subsidies available to farmers will be slashed. Leader of the National People's Power, Anura Kumar Disanayaka, attended a rally in Homagama. Take a look at what is happening during this election period. Understand where these rulers are taking this country to. I remember a candidate speaking about mules and horses. They are saying this to the people. Before the election, it has to be told who the mules and the horses are, because people can't look for them.
ජනතාවට හොයාගන්න බෑනේ නේද කකුල් දෙකයි තියෙන්නේ වලිගයක් පේන්නත් නැහැ ලොකුද පොඩිද කියලා බලන්න එහෙම නේද ඉතින් ලාඩම් ගහලාද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ තව මන් දැක්ක මහින්දානන්ද අලුත්ගමගේ සිරස රූපවාහිනියට ගිහිල්ලා කියනවා ඔහුගේ කණ්ඩායමේ
Mahindananda goes on Sirasa and says there are people within our group who got money from the bond scam. The people should know who they are. Dayasiri speaks about someone from Gampaha. Jagat Pushpakumara from Monoragala is crying. Chamal Rajapaksa's son says they won't even shoot an animal. His general secretary cried. Then he says his leader in Polonnaruwa will cry. Do you believe such nadir politics can develop our nation?
You know, අපි කබරයන්ට වෙඩි තියන්නේ ආයාගේ මහ ලේකනුත් ඇඬුවා. එයා කැට තියලා තියනවලු ඊළඟඩනවලු එයාගේ මහ ලොක්කා පොළොන්නරුවේ ලොක්කා. ඕගොල්ලොන්ට මෙවැනි අසිෂ්ට දේශපාලනයක් අපේ රට හදයි කියලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ විශ්වාස කරනවා.
In all my life, I've been campaigning for a Sri Lankan nationality, which is an inclusive one. We campaign on the platform of inclusive nationalism.
Is it a minority want, or is it what we want as a nation?
So at any point, if this country or all of us can get together, can eliminate this.
This majoritarian sort of way of manipulating votes is what has got us to this position.
Watch the repeat telecast of Face the Nation tonight at 10 p.m. on Election First.
And just before we wrap up our news, we just like to inform you, our viewers, to watch a repeat telecast of Monday night's edition of Face the Nation tonight. That will be on this station at 10 p.m. And that's your news. Thank you for watching.